Welcome to Follow Your Joy podcast, where intuition is the doorway to your elevated creativity, more joy, and prosperity. I'm your host, Marla Diane, and I've been living an intuitive life for decades as a creative. That translates to transforming creative entrepreneurs' lives for over 27 years through two businesses as a business strategist and a life designer. And prior to that, an entertainment publicist and talent manager. Follow Your Joy is an entrepreneurial resource for creatives sharing their challenge to victory stories through the lens of listening to their intuition. It's time to make joy your inner GPS for life and business decisions rather than lean on your logic and reason first. You'll not only be following what is most authentic for you, but you will live the beautiful life meant just for you. Want to learn how to access, trust, or up-level your intuition? Join me in the conversation to find out how. Hi, creatives. How you doing today? So, imagine saying to yourself, I finally have the life I love and want. What do you really want to prioritize in your life that you've been pushing aside? And I mean the big ones, not just the much needed walks in nature, quiet time, midweek getaways to the museum, and a plane ride to visit relatives or a good friend. That's all good. I'm talking life-altering priorities, a solo trip to Tuscany or Mallorca, monetizing your soul's calling, moving abroad and reinventing your career. How about a deep renovation of your home or your identity? Here's the truth. Your desires, not goals, your desires aren't just whimsical wishes. They're meant to transform you. And to manifest them, you need more than willpower and spreadsheets. I aspire for you to define success through a new paradigm, one rooted in feminine wisdom, intuitive strategy, structure, actions, and an embodied new identity. The new paradigm, the blend of feminine and masculine energies and traits, not just goal setting, it's achievement of your top desires and your measurable goals. And that's my creative achievement formula. This methodology was born, I know, from my own major burnout to breakthrough, which was a turning point that became my gift in the challenge. And since 2018, women from all walks of life have changed their success metrics and have thrived. This methodology is the core and the heart of what you'll experience in your soul-led next level portal starting January 28th for a 90-day experience. The portal is for the ambitious woman ready to live and work differently, with her desires in the driver's seat and her intuition at the wheel. You are in the stage of life wanting to create your next chapter with a refined identity ushering you in 2026 and throughout. So I carefully curate this portal with a synergy of 5 to 8 committed women. Enrollment is happening now till the spots are filled. I do offer special rates at various times of this enrollment period, so be on the watch or ask. Use the link in the show notes to connect or email support@marladiane.com asking to talk, and we'll find available dates for us to explore your next chapter and see if we are a match to take you there. If group gathering, by the way, is not your thing and you want one-on-one mentoring instead on this next chapter, new success metrics methodology, go ahead and say so in your email or the form using the link below. I have several options just for you. Okay, now on to my next guest on Follow Your Joy. Here comes another enlightening conversation. All right. Hey, creatives, how are you doing today? All right. Looks like we are in, my gosh, we're in December already.
Already. One more month.
Woo, happy holidays. Happy holidays. So I have known my guest, my gosh, I think since 2016.
Wow.
With E-Women in Orange County. So those of you women that know the E-Women Network, which is a pretty large one, I was part of the Orange County chapter for about 9 years, and that's where I met Vaughn Fahie.
Yes.
Yay.
Got it.
At our monthly meetings, and we stayed in touch over the years. Okay. And then I reached out to him a couple months ago to be a sponsor of our, the speaker and author workshop, Your Voice Matters. Because I thought, what you're going to hear today, my gosh, what he's doing in addition to, you'll hear about his musical career, it's authors and speakers. And I went, oh my gosh, I got to reach out to this guy. So that kind of put us back in touch. So you get to hear kind of the whole background story, but please welcome again Vaughn Foy to Follow Your Joy podcast.
Yay. Thanks for having me, Marla. This is so great.
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
absolutely. Yeah, it's a good story, everybody. You're going to love this. So let me do a, proper, if you will, introduction for you. So I'm going to take some of the info from your, bio and background so that those that don't know you can get to know you a little more. All right, so Vaughn Foy, and by the way, it is spelled Faugh. Wait a
Yep.
minute. How do you
Yep.
spell your last name?
Last name is F as in Frank, Ahie.
That's
Looks
it.
like.
So it looks like Fahey.
Yes.
And in fact, I didn't even know that until I reread on your website a couple months ago your whole bio when I was preparing, right, for our workshop to introduce you. And
Right.
went, oh, that's his name, Foy. Isn't that interesting? So, yeah, just a little tidbit there, everyone.
Yep.
Okay, so Vaughn, right, added the voice brander platform and author to his 3 decade long illustrious career as a jazz saxophonist, and audio engineer. And in his role as the voice brander, he illuminates really the impact of influencers through the power of their voice. So, as a longtime popular saxophonist, he understands obviously the power of sound that translates to creating compelling audiobooks, right? That inspire obviously audiences globally. So today he's a pioneer in the audio sector, supporting thought leaders and authors to capture and share the energy of their voice. And you're going to really understand this, everyone, when you hear what all that means. But creating their audiobooks virtually from their home. So he's the founder and CEO of Audio Newborn Productions. That encompasses obviously the technology and the experience so that your voice is heard. All right. So there you have it.
There we go. Good job.
There you have 30 years of your info. Okay. So let's share with everybody. Let's give us some highlights of your musical journey, right? To now adding obviously audio publisher to your background. So yeah, give us kind of little highlights here of the last several decades.
Ooh, several decades. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always share I've been recording the voice since cassette tape, so it kind of gives a little 3 decades of the audio world, and um, record at the same time while learning the saxophone. We were talking a little earlier. My music starting first instrument is an accordion, and then clarinet in fifth grade. It was either the clarinet or the flute because that's all my family could afford. And at that time, the flute was too girly, so I was like, no, I want to do the clarinet. And so, but now I want to add a flute to my repertoire, which I'll learn hopefully this year.
Mm.
But yeah, going there from playing clarinet from fifth grade and diving into my senior friends in high school said, we need a second chair saxophonist, um, for a jazz band. It's easy to go to clarinet. So I said, sure. I wanted to be cool and in the crowd. And so I went to saxophone. My dad played jazz all the time. I had an ear, played gospel music, played in the church, the keyboards and organ. And so that was natural for me.
Mhm.
And that's how the music started and kept growing from there. And also my studio where I would make my own tracks and start producing for other people, then producing my own albums with my band and recording Sunday messages, for, like I said, since cassette tape and providing those for people to play back. And that's how recording the voice was going parallel all along with that.
Mhm.
And um, see, it was in what 2005. Let's see, yeah, it was about 2005 when formed my band, so to speak, and we were playing for events, weddings, luncheons, all corporate kind of stuff, not and private gigs.
Mhm.
Um, and it just kept growing from there, and learned how to market to make a great presentation to get the next gig, and
Mhm.
kept growing from there. Expanded.
That's where you are today. And in fact, didn't you, was it over the summer? You did several gigs, including the Laguna Arts Festival. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing for the Laguna Beats Arts Sawdust Festival for the last 10 years,
Oh,
actually. And
okay.
yeah, different yachts, playing on yachts,
Mhm.
played for presidents. I've played for George Lucas. I've played for several different, yeah,
Yeah.
names, and people.
Lots, lots. Well, it's been what, 30 years?
Yeah, yeah, I've been
A
playing about
long
30 years.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I knew you as, and you weren't doing the voice brander back then, but when we were, yeah, in E-Women, you
Hmm.
these kind of, you either had vendor table or you were playing the sax, for
Yep.
us at our meetings. It was always so lovely. Great.
Thank you.
Okay. So follow your joy obviously is that's the theme here,
Yeah.
and I talk about how following your joy is like success leaves clues so,
Mm,
in our lives, which means obviously we're meant to listen to what that joy is, and literally follow that.
right.
Allow your, don't allow your logic, don't allow your that beautiful brain of ours that likes to be critical thinking and, fear-based and, you name
Mm,
it. But listen to the joy, listen to what I call it from the neck down.
yeah.
Listen, listen to the heart, listen to the joy, listen to the intuition. So, what is it in your, work today with authors? We already know about the music, and
Hmm.
you'll share some more stuff there, but let's talk about obviously the voice brand, or
Hmm.
what brings you joy, right? And the most joy in that which you do with the authors and the speakers and the audience.
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting because it's tied into with my music and what brings being a performer or so to speak. I always say the saxophone is my other voice. And when you're able to share
Mhm.
um the voice and being able to help others to share their voice and what they said, because we each have, there's something that we were designed for. There was something that there's a purpose, and it's a lot of what we say and how we share and how we speak and how we inspire or motivate or encourage or teach or educate. And what brings me joy is, that it's said that public speaking is, a great fear, one of the top fears. speaking in front of people. Well, I think really close next to that, or a close cousin of that, is when you record yourself on a microphone in the studio, especially.
Mm.
You're going to record. We talk freely all the time. Just we meet each other, we're on Zoom, we talk. But as soon as when you push record, there's a whole nother mental freak out that happens.
Oh.
And so allowing people to be comfortable with their own voice,
Hmm.
with their own capturing. We can talk back to answering machines. We used to,
All that.
you know, hey, this is the Foy residence. Please leave your message. And we would do that like 30 times for a 20-second little, oh, I don't like how I sound. I don't like, how I said that. And it's the recording is it's a whole thing. And so my joy is being able to carry people from that fear to encouraging them that no, your voice is unique. You have a unique voice print, and being able to help them at the end be very comfortable and actually happy and joyous about sharing their voice. Because we passively think about it, but when we're actively have to push record, if we can get past the fear, then we're actually flowing, and we can capture something that anyone can play on demand in the future. So my joy comes from taking people from a daunting experience to where, like, oh, I'm going to write another book so I can do another audiobook, kind of.
So, I mean, would you consider yourself like a vocal coach?
um what, not necessarily like a vocal coach, but a more of a that's a great question.
Hmm.
More of a it just came and left, like a
Oh,
um I help coach people to release vocally what's inside. I help people to be comfortable to delivery. I'm like a delivery coach, more of.
delivery.
Let me
Okay.
help you, vocal delivery coach. I guess if we were to create a name for it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because whether you're doing that or you're speaking, right? Just
Hmm.
what we did at the Your Voice Matters workshop.
Hmm.
And Ashley, was talking about delivery. Is that yes? And you and I have been speakers for many, many years. It's the delivery. You can have your story to tell and so forth, or whatever it is that the education you're giving. Yeah, what I'm hearing is, again, it's the tonation, it's the delivery, it's how you say what you're saying. Is that
Yes.
what you're talking about?
Probably more so, and it's more so of being able to release,
Hmm.
because we talk all the time, we share all the time, and I guess it's, for me, it's more specific to how can you share and be comfortable with sharing in front of a mic. And yes, it can be polished, and there's definitely coaches that are about enunciation and volume projection, high, low.
Okay.
That's not necessarily my area. My area is,
Mhm.
because most of the people that authors that are, first time narrating
Yeah.
or first time recording, they may do it more and more on podcasts, but to help them uh, get to that place where they are comfortable with their voice to be able to naturally release and share what it is that they have to share.
You know
Um,
what? The word that keeps coming up, and I want you to define this because there's a
mhm,
lot of interpretation left here.
mm,
Keep saying the word release.
yeah.
Release what
Um,
and in what way?
I guess I'll refer it back to when you're pushing that record button, all
Mm.
of the blocks and all of the
Mm.
tension and all of the, oh, how
The
do I
pressure.
sound?
Yeah, the
Yeah, the
pressure. Mhm.
pressure is like, I got to get it perfect, or I
The
got to make
pressure to
sure,
perform.
yeah, I have to perform it. And are they going to like it? To
So
release past that, like
to release the stress, release the pressure, release the expectation,
the
and this is what I'm
fear.
hearing,
Hmm.
and drop into trust and faith in who you are and what you have to share.
Yes.
and the power of what you have to share and the impact that you have to share.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
It?
I like that. It's like
Okay.
really, yes, I
Okay,
like that.
good.
Yes. Thank you for the interpretation.
Okay, terrific. Because I'm, kind of learning. I know on the surface what you do, what you've
Hmm.
been doing, but it seems like every time we talk, I get more and more, I understand it. Now I really get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
helpful.
Good. Yeah. Helping people get past the pushing record is something about the mic. And it happens on stage too, but on stage it's a little, you're used to talking face to face. When you're in a microphone and in a booth or in your office or and you push and record, you're like, it goes back to those old school answer machines, or if you're leaving a message on your phone,
Hmm.
thanks, call me back. Um, you want it, you do it 20 times for that 20 seconds. So when you're recording a 5-hour book, that's that's a lot more time than a 30-second answering machine, leave a message kind of thing. So it and I can say also from a musician, you're recording your song, but you may have 5 takes of, I don't like that solo, let me do it again, and then you're cutting the best parts of that to make it sound like one.
Hmm.
This is musician secrets. It's very rare that musicians do a one take. It's it happens, but it's not the
Yeah,
norm.
that's rare. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
especially
it.
in the studio. So that same thing as far as first time people in the mic.
Hmm.
Okay, I wrote the book. That's 95% of the work, but now I'm reading it, but I'm delivering it into a microphone, and I'm concerned about how I'm going to sound recorded because I don't know my own voice. We
Hmm.
don't we don't know what we don't really like what we sound like because we don't hear what everybody else
Hmm.
hears.
So is your ideal client first time audio bookers, or is it because where I went to, well, what if they've already done an audiobook and they're coming to you
Mhm.
for the second round? They've
What I
already.
found, most my ideal client is the first timers because
Okay.
it's like
Okay.
it's their first book
Got
or
it.
it's their first audiobook. They may have written 5 books, but
Yeah.
this is their first audiobook.
Okay.
So it's
Got it.
um yeah, if people have done an audiobook before, they've experienced this
Yeah.
first timer thing already. So
Okay.
yeah.
Very good. So I think that's an important piece because I can guarantee, and I know you know this, there's probably hordes of authors out there that have done audiobooks already, but
Actually, yeah.
you really specialize in the first timers.
Yeah, because it's a small, the statistics of 22% of the world actually write books.
Mm.
Only 3% of that 22% actually publish those books.
Yeah.
And then there's a smaller percentage that of that 3% of the 22% that actually do an audio version of their books. So those who do audiobooks is a very, very, very small percentage of the authors to self-narrate.
Huh,
Um,
really? Because it's such a big industry today.
yeah, it's the fastest growing segment of publishing, but it's a very, very small percentage of there's way more books written than there is
Audios. Yeah.
audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And that makes sense to me. But as far as the percentages that you just mentioned, wow, that's
yeah,
really, when you put it into measurement like that, that's small.
very, very
This
small.
is why it's such a booming industry, hence why you're doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, terrific. Yeah, you got a good niche.
Yes.
So this is a good segue then to this, topic about intuition. So how do you, since that's obviously the basis of the podcast here, is listening to your intuition, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Rather than your logic and so forth first.
Hmm.
And that is, how do you then use intuition in your work with your authors?
So this and now how we've flowed. So there's a lot of intuition because each individual author is different.
Mhm.
each one has a voice print that's unique, like your fingerprint. You actually have a voice print, and each author has their own audience. Um, and I'm just thinking of this when when we were starting. Um,
Mhm.
my intuition is really feeling the connection of the voice of the author, how it's to translate from what the story they have, the message, the memoir, the method. Um, they deliver in such a way, whether it's on one, whether it's on stage, whether it's on Zoom,
Mhm.
and I use the intuition to connect with them and help kind of hug and surround them to translate that so that it best reaches the souls and the hearts of their audience, because that's going to be, because the voice is the most intimate human connection between each other, between us. It's very, I noticed that I use my intuition to kind of gather where they're at, and like we were talking about earlier, like the getting past the fears and things like that. It's intuition driven. It's not logic. It's like, no, I hear the heart about what you want to share, that there's a heart about, and a passion, and a, you you don't invest the time, money, and energy and attention into writing a book
Yeah.
just to say you did. But so for me is how you went through all of the time to edit and get it all into a nice concise print form. Now it's almost like re-unpackaging it when you're sharing with your voice, because now we are connecting with someone. So I use my intuition to come alongside of the heart and the soul of what it is that you want to communicate, and then guide them to translate that and express that, because you're going to be in the earbuds of people. So
Yeah.
that's where my kind of gifting and intuition is.
Okay. It makes a lot of sense
Mhm.
to me. Yeah. How about you, everyone? Right? It is an intuition.
Mhm.
It's similar to whether it's a musician and whatever your artistry is. All of that comes from intuition,
Yeah.
right? It's the heart of it. It's the spirit of it. It's the soul of it. Yeah, there's no logic involved in there at all. For sure. And especially when because you're listening, and I relate this when I'm, coaching,
Mhm.
when I'm in a coaching session, I'm listening with my heart and my intuition. I'm not listening with my brain,
Right. Right.
right? I'm listening for what's not being said. I'm
Mhm.
listening, meaning, who they are, what's the essence of what they're trying to say,
Mhm.
right? How I can lead them down the path that I, see is most intuitively right for them,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It's the same thing. So
Yeah.
you're listening to that. So totally get it. Beautiful.
Yeah. And that just kind
You-
of, that kind of just downloaded, and
Mhm.
it's helping them, because a lot of times, most of the time, they're logically thinking, how am I saying it right?
Yeah.
How can I say this right? And it's like,
No, no, no. Let go. Yeah.
yeah, let that go. And what is it that you want to communicate? Because they're going to feel that on the microphone. They're in their earbuds, and just share. You're sharing, I'm here in the studio. Tell me, how would you tell me, or, across on Zoom or whatever. Just say that sentence again, read the sentence and know what you're going to say. Now just share what you just read instead of reading and talking it.
Yes. Do you ever have them? Because this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm in a particular exercise with clients, and especially around their money power statement, their money contract, their new, I should say, their new relationship with money,
Mm-hmm.
is I have them create this. It's a whole process in which we go through to remove the old money story, which is adopted and imprinted from people in childhood, and you name it. It was never theirs to begin with. And that is when I'm having them, I have them speak out loud, right? I call it anchoring. Have them
Mm-hmm.
speak out loud this new statement, which happens to be the truth, which replaces the old money story. And I say, okay, what I want you to do with me is I'm going to sit and just listen,
Mm,
looking for, correct verbiage and so forth, although you've written it down. What I'm going to give you feedback on is the essence. Do I get
mm,
that you believe what you're saying?
right,
Right.
right.
And what I have them do is drop from their head to their heart.
Mm,
And I
mm-hmm.
say, let me know when you're ready. I want you to, and this is what I do with all meditations anyway, is I want you to literally come out of your head, drop into your heart, in your heart space.
Yeah,
Go there, right? And then speak what you're going to speak.
yeah,
So that's how I'm relating with what you do. Do you
yep,
ever do that? Do you ever help them kind of move from their head to their heart? Because they're in their logic.
yep,
Am I going to sound right? Am I reading this right?
yep,
And have them go into literally when they drop in that space,
yeah,
it's soft, it's natural, there's no judgment, it just is.
yeah. It's no, it's rich. And kind of like the story we are talking about, where I have several clients when they're doing whether it's a memoir or they're sharing parts of their lives, and when they're reading their stories again,
Mhm.
and some of them are very traumatic, some are um, painful, joyful, and when they begin to tear up or choke up, they're apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be crying. And it's like, no, let's keep that in there, because that's heart, that's
Yeah.
soul, that's passion. And no, we're going to record the sniffles and the tears, because it's going to translate to the listener. That's going to be a connection, because they're going to be sniffling with you,
Yeah,
because
I love it.
they can relate,
Great.
but a lot of producers or engineers would be like, oh, let's take it again, pull
Yeah.
yourself together, and you know
Yeah.
let's get, and then it's not going to translate. So yes, so I'm saying all of that to say, yes, like I help them. No, if it's okay if you laugh, it's a funny, this was a funny
Yeah.
segment, and you start busting up because it's so funny. I leave that in there.
Oh,
You
I
laughed at
love
it
it.
and start again, because that's that's soul, that's life,
Mhm.
that's, and
Cool.
it's communicated through a laugh or a tear or a sniffle or a
Mhm.
murmuring. Your bottom lip is you're, because you're sad, and you can barely get the words out, and you get choked up.
Mhm.
And as long as it's
Mhm.
choked up but legible, so to speak,
Yeah.
let that be in there, because that's the feeling of everything. So
Mhm.
yes, so
That's lovely. Because
yeah,
what it sounds like you're doing also is like the actor's studio.
yeah, yeah.
Is what you're allowing them to do, and I assume you probably prep them with that. It's like this is an actor's in whatever you use your verbiage, but
Mm-hmm.
this is an actor's studio. I want the emotion. I
Yeah.
want whatever's coming up. This is not about just reading like a machine.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we want your emotion, we want your laughter, we want your crying, we want all of that in there. That is so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's fun. And now
Mhm.
when they're reading their story, like even from the intro, it's
Mhm.
you know, Marla Diane, intuition, at its best, written and narrated by Marla Diane. It's like, no, say it again, and I want you to be in your personality. I'm meeting the Marla Diane. Do it
Right.
in your own pizzazz and your own
Mhm.
whatever it is. So from the title,
Yeah.
I want I want to feel you as outside the booth we meet, we're talking, having coffee. So read your book with you, and the whole rest of the book is gonna be you sharing. And that's the difference, I think, that I put in for my authors, is like, no, we need to feel you, just like I play the saxophone. And that's why I relate it to my music. When every note I'm playing, it's intentional. I'm expressing, I'm releasing, I'm saying a sentence to you. And while you're reading your audiobook,
Mhm.
which I think are authors albums, is audiobooks. So
It is like an author's album.
mhm.
I like that.
and each chapter is a single. So we'll release your single, and they'll probably buy the album. And your voice is your instrument, and express and be you. It's your personality. It's your passion. It's your emotions. It's your trials, your failures, your triumphs. Your voice contains all of that. And
Yeah.
so that's my yeah. So that's a big answer to yes.
Yeah, no, it's like an actor studio. I think it's
Mm,
terrific.
yeah.
Great. Yeah, and that's all intuitive based. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now let's kind of move into speaking of intuition in your life in kind of a shortened version because I want to
Yeah.
make sure we can finish up with a couple more things before we end today. But
Sure.
let's take the intuition topic, which this is the part I love even more is, when did you, there's many of these excerpts in our life
Sure.
where we listen to our intuition, because remember, our intuition, everyone, it's never logic.
Mm-mm.
Intuition is not born of logic and practicality and function and making sense. If it is, it's not intuition, right? Or it's you trying to allowing your beautiful brain to make sense of something that's telling you to do something that's scary and exciting at the same
Mm.
time. Or I don't know, it's the unknown. Well, good, it should be the unknown. Because remember, our brain wants certainty.
Yeah.
Can't have that when you're evolving and listening to your intuition, whether it's a big decision in life or just a small daily one. Right?
Right.
All that to say is in your life, yeah, an excerpt when you dug in and you listened, right?
Mm.
You committed, you were brave, you were courageous, listening to your intuition that
Mm.
changed your life on any level, right?
Mm.
With obviously a good result, a fulfilling result.
Mm. Yeah. One just newly downloaded, and it was my transition from my full-time from my full-time job as a director of operations at Cal State Fullerton. So this was the last time I was my last, what do you call it? Um, my last job before becoming an entrepreneur.
Oh,
And um, all the way up to then, I was successful in the event planning at, Cal State Fullerton in their student unions and setting up major events and meetings and audio visual for all of that stuff, all the logical stuff. And but it was also the worst time in my life because I was dreading all of the middle management and people management and things like that. Anyway, it came to a point, to make it short, it came to a point where it was like, Vaughn, you're excelling in these areas, but this areas of blah blah blah, we're having an issue. And I would struggle. I'd be, at work 80 hours a week trying to match whatever that there was expectations. And anyway, it came to a place where it was a mutual release, so to speak. And everybody's like, well, Vaughn, it was a very great paying job, great benefits and everything. I was just married. It was expecting of my son. And so it was, I'm leaving this, and they're like, what are you going to do? And at that point, I was playing several engagements music wise, but it was like, I guess I'm going to pursue my music and what I do full time. And it's like, what? How are
love
you going to
it.
go from? And that's when I mean, I never strived. I was sharing with you earlier. I never strived to be like this, saxophonist that plays, 150 to 200 events a year, rebooked and things like that. I never strive that, but that I was following going forward is like, I didn't know what was going to become, but I knew that I could not stay there anymore where I was.
Yeah.
And I knew I was gifted in how I changed atmospheres and lives when I played. And I never had pursued that. And so that was a super transformational time. My wife was like, you better get a job. Um, it was everything against like logic
Right.
to what do you mean you're going to go off and live out, and it just kept getting more successful every year that I followed it. And I mean, even to where I'm today, that led to having the studio and
Mm-hmm.
having where I met you. I became a eWomen network because the managing director, Diana Sabatino, we were at a wedding party and she heard me playing and she's like, "Hey, I have a network. Do you play for networks?" I was like, "Yeah." And I played 1 month and I played every month since for 8 years now.
Right.
so,
Yeah.
uh, so that was a big
Wonderful.
change.
So it was a career change. It was you listening, obviously, to your intuition rather than, okay, let's do the logical thing and just go find another job.
Yeah.
Which, and this is a really common actual story that I find on the podcast,
Mm,
has a lot to do with, career stories, is
mm-mm.
when you were loyal to your intuition, courageous, brave, against other people's opinions.
Yeah.
That's when we know, it's intuition and you're absolutely on the right path.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, very, very
Right.
good. Okay. Um, I'm curious, this is more of a creativity question.
hmm
And that is, how do you nurture that part of yourself, the creative in you? And let me give you
mm
a real quick, just kind of set up on that. So, for example, like right now, I am, for the umpteenth time, I'm back reading The Artist's Way. Are you familiar
mm
with the book, The
Yeah.
Artist's Way? Oh, God.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
The
It's
art of sway.
called The Artist's
Oh, the
Way.
artist's way. Okay, gotcha. Artist.
Artist's Way.
Okay.
Here's the book.
Okay.
It's been around, I think, since the late 90s. It's
Mm.
Julia Cameron, and I know a lot of you listening know this. It's phenomenal. And I'm back at it. I always go back when I feel I'm drifting away from my creative self.
Okay.
It's
Hmm.
the core of who I am. It's my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's my soul. It's yeah, my intuition is going, yeah, no, you got to get back to that.
Mm.
My creativity, my artistry is writing, it's visual arts.
Mm.
Anyway, point is she's got, it's literally a recovery. I call it creative renewal, but it's a recovery for artists
Mm.
and have a spiritual connection back, with your creativity. It's a beautiful, it's a
Mm.
workshop in a book, right?
Okay. Okay.
Workshop in a book, yeah. And in fact, I'm looking at seriously offering a course in that coming up soon.
Nice.
So, point is, one of the things she has you do, and I'm really excited about this, to be back in this, how to nurture your creativity or your creative. And she
Mm.
has, it's called artist dates, which are
Mm.
she not only has you journal the called morning pages, where every day you're writing. There, it's very therapeutic, right?
Okay.
But what I love about the artist states, because it's creativity, which is my work about the masculine, feminine, right?
Right.
The
Mm.
feminine is always your creativity, it's the fun, the play, the adventure of life, right? The curiosity of life, the getting out and being spontaneous part of life. All right.
Mm.
So artist states are based on that. It's you taking yourself as an artist, right? Whatever that happens to be, in your case, music. And that is you take yourself somewhere that's going to just be fun
Mm.
and that
Mm-hmm.
really kind of nurtures and feeds you. And so I've started literally since yesterday. I literally have I printed out a sheet that I'm going to commit to 2 to 3 of these a week,
Mm.
and it can look any different way. It can be walking in nature. It can be, you name it, right? It can be going to a concert. It can be taking yourself shopping. I mean, whatever that artist date is.
Mm.
Right. So, for example, on Saturday, I already have it down in my calendar. I'm going to do two things, two artist dates.
Okay.
One is I'm going to a film screening it's a filmmakers, it's called Ladies Filmmaker Festival in LA over the weekend. And I'm going to go. I've been wanting to see this particular film. And I happened to find out with my previous podcast interview recording, my guest is told me all about this film festival, and I went, "Oh, when is it?" It
Mm,
was this next following week. All right,
nice.
so I'm going to go to that.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a ticket to that film festival to go watch the screening. Big nurture for me. I love filmmaking. I love visual arts. And then I'm going to actually, prior to that, I have this and have had for the last several years, this intuitive, like, I love the artistry of fragrance, the artistry of
Mm,
perfumery, how
okay.
you create fragrance and perfumes. It's like this beautiful, sensual, romantic,
Yeah.
highly creative art, right?
Right.
And so I went researching a couple different boutiques, and there's one not far from where I'm going to be
Mm,
Saturday, in Beverly Hills. So I'm going to go take myself to that boutique shop that has workshops on creating your own perfume to all of
nice.
your own. That's an example of my artist state.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So for fun, what could be to nurture you? What could be an artist date for you to, and you have the rule is you have to go by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm very
Just be spontaneous. What could be a fun artist date of any type to take yourself on that would be, bring up the spirit in you, the fun, the play, the adventure.
Yeah, you know what? I often I love flying kites. And I have a stunt kite. And I don't know if it's more so of a hobby, but I my dad was in the Air Force and I love everything about flying and aviation and stuff. So um one thing is like flying kites. I it's just the freedom and the control about that. That's kind of one of my dates. For the artist date, yeah, going to hear other jazz artists. Like I love um going to a jazz concert where I'm not playing. I just get to sit there and enjoy other artists. So I
Flying,
may go. Hmm?
flying kites are great.
No, flying kite. Yeah, it's
That's
like
what I'm talking about. To me, I mean, the jazz concerts, that's cool, huh? That's what I'm looking for. The flying of kites.
oh yeah. I have a 50-foot
That's
tail.
play. That's
Yeah.
fun. That's a perfect artist date.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do that. I go to the beach or I'll
Nice.
go to a park. I know it's fall season. That's why I love fall. That's when all the winds come at 3 o'clock every day. 3 to 6 is the kite flying time.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes I'll keep the kite in my car and just pull over it. I was like, ooh, that's a good wind.
Yeah,
And I'll just spontaneous go fly in an open park. Yeah. Yeah. I
that's
love
it.
flying kites. Yep.
That's what we're looking for.
All
Okay.
right. Gotcha.
I love that. I didn't know that about you. See? Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. All right. Let's finish this up. So couple things, where can our listeners connect with you, and what kind of special, gift download do you have for them?
Yeah, you can find me on social media with either with my name, Vaughn Foy, and that spelling, VAUGHN FAHIE. You can see in the show notes, things like that. Um, you can also find on at audionewbornproductions.com. And I have the special my it's my ebook, I call it, my little micro ebook, push record so the world can push play. And that is at my website, audionewbornproductions.com/push slash dash record. And the other link, and yeah, all of those places you can
Yeah.
find
So
me.
what exactly are they getting when they opt in for your download?
So I have there's an ebook
Okay.
and an audiobook. I call it a micro ebook because
Okay.
it's and by the time of this it'll be also an audio version as well, of course. But it's called Push Record so that the world can push play.
And what are you teaching in that ebook?
So I'm speaking a lot of kind of what we talked about, like our
Ah,
voice prints.
okay,
Each
good.
of us has a voice print. It's talking about, the history of actually the whole recording industry is based off of when Edison made the phonograph. He based it on audiobooks. So talking books is what they call it, so that the human voice can be played on demand at any time in the future. So I talk about that, the history, and then the importance and the power of and the legacy of capturing your voice and sharing that
Oh,
for
nice.
generations to come.
Okay.
Yep. So,
Terrific. So it's kind of like what we've just shared here. It's in, an ebook form for them to actually have and, download and read and
yeah,
okay. Okay.
and you'll be able to listen to it too.
And listen to it. Okay. Super helpful. Everybody, as you know, the link will be in the show notes where it's going to take you, everyone. Important to know. The newest addition to Follow Your Joy is the Portal of Joy. And what that
Portal.
means is very select, gifts from my guests is I am featuring on a landing page their gifts for you to download. So there will be a link to take you to the portal that
Mhm.
you'll opt into, and then you'll not only have access to Vaughn's great ebook, but you'll have access to a handful of other guests that we've chosen and their downloads. So you're in good company, Vaughn.
Nice. I love it. I'm
Yeah,
honored.
good company. So make sure everyone you find the link to the Portal of Joy. That's where you find Vaughn's ebook. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Terrific. And is there anything, being that we're in December and we got to scoot,
Sure.
is there anything in December that you want to mention about, your saxophone entertainment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. There's still a couple of weeks left, and normally this is the time where everybody's thinking about their holiday parties or dinners or luncheons. It's like, oh, it'd be nice to have some live, saxophone music, and oh, we didn't book that, so I absolutely available to find out some dates. I love setting the atmospheres for that. And yeah, this is the time to reach out and see what's available and can be for jazz your holidays up.
How's your holidays? And that's specifically for the Southern California region.
Or if you travel, I travel out of state,
Oh,
wherever they take
yeah.
me. Yeah,
Sure. This is global, so
global. Yep.
yeah, someone
um,
wants to, fly you out, you'll go.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, good. Good, good, good. Just want to
Yep.
make sure. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We always tend to have pretty in-depth conversations. We can kind of
Yeah.
go on for a while. But I think we did a pretty good job in being succinct about what we do and this wonderful kind of what did you call it? Being a voice vocal delivery coach. That's it.
Big well,
Delivery
yeah,
coach and releasing, etc. So
yeah.
yeah, really, really unique for sure. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share and
absolutely.
discover.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, you heard it here, and please pass the word on to your friends that are authors, that first time, authors or first time audio
Hmm.
authors. Um, it's anywhere in the world. Vaughn is
Yeah.
available. Thank God for technology. You don't have to be local.
No.
So, yes, pass this episode on to them if you would please. I know there's thousands and thousands of authors out there.
Yes.
If you're not, if you're not one, I know you know one. All right, everyone, you have a wonderful, wonderful month of December, and I'll be back with one more episode before the end of the year. All
Wonderful.
right, you take care, everyone. Be well and be blessed.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. You can find more entrepreneurial stories and resources at marladiane.com. And while you're there, enjoy my free downloads
to uplevel your business and your life. And Instagram. It's my favorite place to hang out. Let's connect there. If you received inspiration from the episode, I'd sure appreciate a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify. Until next episode, take care.